YouTube tarot reader, Lisa Lee, has been found using bad language during her twice-weekly live streams. In a shocking turn of events, it has also been discovered that she will not tell you what you want to hear, only what you need to know. The internet is in collective shock that authenticity is alive and well in this corner of the YouTube meta space. Do not watch if you are easily offended.
Good evening. Caught me by surprise there. I don't know why. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to the channel. First things first, before I go any further, if there's hang on, let me just double check. Holland, what is the sound like? Patricia, what's the sound like? I've got the fan on slightly blowier today because it's a bit warm in this room. So yes, let me know if the sound is okay with that fan on at that strength. Good evening to, let's have a look and see who's here this evening. Lavina Ezrani, good evening to you. Good evening to Divyansha Mishra, good evening to you. Good evening to Holland from Blue Chalice. Good evening to You Are Enough for 1111 Judy. Good evening, Judy says, hello, my friends. Good evening to Patricia. Good evening to Van. Good evening to, I think I've said hello to everybody. Wolf Boyo's here. Good evening, Wolf Boyo. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Hi, Harland. How was your weekend away? Says Patricia. Yeah, I'm thankful that you were here on Sunday. But yes, thank you very much. I hope your holly bobs went well. I really do. I've got the disclaimer running across the bottom of the screen today, just because I thought, you know what? As people are coming in, we should have the disclaimer on. That makes perfect sense to me. It really does. Also, I just need to check one thing. on the back end. That sounds a lot ruder than it's ever meant to. Bear with. Here we go. Is this actually set up properly with the subscribers only mode? I don't know, because my YouTube doesn't seem to be working. Bear with. I've got a blank screen. Thank you, YouTube. That's going to be entirely useful, or not. Is that the one we're on today? Yes, it is. That's today's stream. Oh, God, that took a long time then. It really did. And of course, subscribers mode is not on, but slow mode was. How have I done that? How have I managed to do that? I've managed to do one of the two and not the other one. That was ridiculous. So, mods, I'm going to need your help today. I was incredibly poorly. Had a 24-hour crash yesterday, the first one in a long time, certainly since I've been doing this new nightshade diet. So I may need your help to stay on track, or just to stay functional. So if that happens, please message me on the WhatsApp and just go, oi, maybe it's time to finish early or something, because I won't necessarily realize. Anyway, Neil's here as well. Good evening to Neil. So we've got almost a full complement of mods, which I guess that means it is time to crack on with some tarot reading. So as it does say at the bottom of the screen, the housekeeping is quite simple. You do have to remember that tarot is for entertainment purposes only. You do make all of your own decisions about your own life, and tarot should never, ever be used to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. It's sometimes it's tempting to ask the cards for, news about XYZ that we don't really cover here. So you might be going through some legal issues. I can't tell you whether to sue your neighbor over the size of their fence. What I can tell you, though, is that if stress is getting to you, what may alleviate that stress, or what may complicate that stress, because that often comes up in the cards. You might get a card like the Justice card, which you may think is absolutely telling you to go and take legal advice, or that may also to go and sue them, or that same card may be meaning that it's karma for that time that you threw their dog poo over to their side of the front lawn that you both share when their dog pooped on your side of the lawn. Do you know what I mean? It's got different interpretations, is what I'm trying to say. Anywho, so yeah, I was poorly yesterday. I am feeling a million times better today, and hopefully we're going to have a good stream. So we're due to go until 9 p.m. UK time, which is just under 2 hours as I'm talking to you all now. But obviously that may be curtailed. That may come a little bit sooner. You see, once again, I've lost track instantly. So, as I was saying, do not use this to replace medical advice, legal advice, financial advice, or counseling advice. If you're looking for advice in any of those areas, please do see a professional. I'm not a professional. Also, you do need to be 18 years of age or over to have a tarot reading on this channel. And you also need to remember that basically tarot can only tell you so far. The way that I read only goes about 6 to 8 weeks in advance in any detail. You can sort of see the vague possibilities after that, but it's a bit like a soap opera. You're never going to see that far ahead in a soap opera storyline, are you? Because there's going to be twists and turns, and tarot's a little bit like that. And then the last thing to remind everybody of is do not share your personal information on the interwebs, right? That is really, really, really important. I cannot tell you how many times people on the channel have said things or done things, and I've gone, maybe don't share that. Maybe don't put that out there on the interwebs for all to see. Maybe you might want to delete that comment. But again, it is your choice, and we stick by all of that. We stick by what we've said, if that makes sense. So do not dox yourself is basically what I'm trying to say. I can't even get through my opening spiel, everybody. So today's going to be very interesting. Luckily, it's days like this that we get the best readings from the cards, because there's absolutely no interference between brain and visual cortex. Everything just kind of comes together. I don't even know what I'm saying. Let's just crack open a run, shall we? Let's open up a round and see what happens today. So then, if you would like a tarot reading, there are 2 ways to get one on this stream. The first way is to go ahead and pop your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. Alternatively, to guarantee your reading is next, and to get a longer reading, you can do that by sending a super chat. That is basically the best way of doing it, because it comes through on a completely different screen to everything else. It comes through on a very different screen, and basically means that I can see it easier. And because I can see it easier, that also means that it's just easier for me to read, to be honest with you, much easier. So then let's go ahead and officially open the round. That is now officially done. There should be a text on your screen in the comment section as I speak, saying that the round is open. So do please go ahead and do all the YouTubey things. Just in case you need a reminder, here's that. Okay, so then let's have a look at the comments and see who is here. Let's see who's put questions in, I should say. So we've got multiple questions. So what we do when there's multiple questions is I select them all, and then I pop them into a specific place and then pick them at random. Now we've got more than 2. If there was just 2, I would effectively toss a coin. But because we've got more than 2 questions, it is officially time for me to pick one of those at random. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put them all onto that screen. So I've got Divyansha, Lavina, and Van. Okay, 3 people, 3 questions. Let's have a look. And here we go. This person gets a question. Lavina. Good evening to you, Lavina. What does Aniket have clarity on? Yes, subscriber mode should be on, Neil. No, subscriber mode should be on. Always, always, always. It's me that turned it off. It's me that forgot to put it on first thing. So yeah, subscriber mode should be on. Lavina, good evening to you, my darling. You are our first cab off the rank, if you like. You're the first person that I am reading for this evening. So as always, we are going to swap to the other camera, just like so. And as always, so running regular viewers will know we have this running thing on this channel that I do not mid look at this, right? Mid spread, mid reading. So between Sunday and Tuesday, or between Tuesday and Sunday, I do not actually alter the camera positions, right? It's not something I do. I don't come in here and start messing around with the cameras. However, you can guarantee that for some reason, there we go, for some reason, in between the last time I did a reading, which was Sunday, and now, everything gets jigged around. You would think we had cats, and we don't have cats. But yeah, so then, as always, we're going to cleanse the space. And I'm going to bring in Wispy. Wispy, my darling, I need you tonight more than ever before. My poor brain is slightly all over the place today, Wispy. So we need you to get some really strong cards. I was going to, the reason this is here, I was going to use this deck, the Wheel of the Year Tarot, but I decided as soon as I opened my mouth and realized that I'm a little bit all over the place tonight with the old fibro brain, that actually I needed a deck that I can totally instinctively trust. So then, Wispy, Lavina Israni Israni would like to know, what does Aniket have clarity about our relationship? So in other words, what does Aniket think about the relationship with Lavina? He's not been clear to her, and it's been 2 years. You're waiting for him. What does he think about you? Okay, Lavina, let's have a look. So Wispy, Lavina wants to know, what does Aniket think about the relationship with Lavina? It's been 2 years and he's not really giving any answers. Okay, let's have a look. This is where muscle memory and having done this for 29 years saves my bacon. So then we're going to cut this in half. There we go. Oh, now look. That card is halfway. It doesn't want to drop. So I'll take that out. So this is the top, but I'm going to pop that card just on one side and see if that gives a bit of a different wrinkle in a minute. Right then. So what does Aniket think about your relationship? So we're going to go with what you want from the relationship. Oh, Three of Swords. That's what you're experiencing, sorry, from the relationship. What Aniket probably is providing, and where it's headed. And then what was this one? Right, so this did want to fall, because look what happens if this falls, right? Look what happens if this was the card that fell first, right? This is the one that was stuck. You want the Lovers, right? What you want, what Aniket wants, and where the relationship is headed. And then we've got this extra card now coming into the longer term. This is really interesting, Lavina, because this is what you want, right? And this is saying that what you want is the Lovers. The Lovers is all about, as it says on the tin, it's about that relationship. In this deck, it's also about positivity with yourself. It's about having those connections, that shadow self, all of those lovely things. However, what it also is connecting with, it's connecting with the fact that, sorry, bear with me. I've got a stupid WhatsApp group that's binging. There we go. Mute for 8 hours. So this is saying this is what you want, but it didn't fully drop, which I think is this is what you wanted. This is so far in the past. When you and Aniket started to get together, this was what you wanted. You wanted that dream, that lover's dream. And this is where you are right now with the heartbreak card, right? So this is actually, that's what you dreamt of, but this is where we are 2 years on. And I think that is it's causing you pain, my darling. It's causing you pain. He's not being clear and necessarily honest with you. But I honestly think that, like, it's I think that this is absolutely saying that what you want is perhaps not likely to happen now. Because in Aniket's card, what does Aniket want? You've got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is difficult decisions, right? Difficult decisions. Each decision is going to be a hard one to take. Each decision is going to be a tough one, right? There's not a lot happening that is going to be positive. Each one of these swords represents something sharp and sharp and pokey that's going to poke. You can already see, look, one of these eggs has a hole in it. It's been damaged. Whatever you choose from here, it's a bad situation. But obviously this is what Aniket wants, and it's like it almost doesn't connect with where you are here. Do you know what I mean? It's like you wanted this is where you're headed personally because of Aniket's actions. And then we've got where the relationship is headed, what is happening to the relationship. The Fool doesn't mean that you have been foolish, right? It isn't a negative towards you. All the Fool is saying that it's the start of a journey, my darling. So this is saying that this is perhaps, you're asking what Aniket wants. Aniket wants a new journey. It doesn't feel like he's invested in this relationship. The Fool itself is a really positive card. The tarot is often described as the Fool's journey, going from a 0, because the card is, look, it's a 0. It's neither positive nor negative. Sometimes in life we have to start over. Sometimes in life we have to start again to find the people that are genuinely right for us, that are genuinely supposed to be in our lives. And if it was this way up, I would say this is you wanting a refresh, a restart. But because it's reversed, I think it's Aniket that wants a restart, my darling. It doesn't feel that Aniket particularly knows what he's got with you. It doesn't feel like there's any sort of love or respect there. And that respect is the deepest and strongest thing, right? Without that level of respect, I don't think any relationship is worth pennies. Do you know what I mean? It's not worth anything, my darling. But yeah, all I would say is at the moment where these cards are sitting, this is what you wanted. This is where you are. It doesn't feel good, my darling. It really doesn't feel good. And if he's not been clear with you for 2 years as to what he wants, then I would say there comes a time where you've just got to say, do you know what? I've waited long enough. I am worth more than this. And for you then maybe to realize that this is where your journey needs to start again for you to be happy in your life. Okay, my darling, I hope that helps. It's a bit weird that card was stuck in that halfway place. But yeah, I really do think that if you work out, then you absolutely should look at starting your own path, look at refreshing what you want and going on your own journey, because it certainly doesn't feel like Aniket's on the same journey with you. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you ever so much for your question. And yeah, apologies once again. I always feel bad. I always feel bad when I'm reading for someone and it's very obvious that you would have really liked the relationship to be positive and to be going a certain way. But obviously I can't lie. I could lie. I could very easily lie and say, oh yes, it means all of this. But that isn't what you need to know, is it, my darling? So yeah, that is why I try and as carefully and as kindly and compassionately as possible. But I have to give you that truth, and that's what the cards have given me, my darling. So thank you very much. Right then, everybody, let's have a look at what is happening. Oh, my darling, thank you. Listen, absolute best of luck to you, my love. Best of luck to you. Yes, let's have a look. Oh, he's still so confused, but he doesn't know that you love him. He's not confused, my darling. If have you told him you love him? Have you told him? Because I kind of get the impression that you need to tell him that you love him. Tell him that you're always going to leave. What? No. What is it? Tell him that you're always going to love him. Tell him that you're never going to leave him. Tell him right now. All of that. So maybe have that conversation. before you write things off, Lavina, before you say, do you know what, you're not the right one for me, maybe tell him and just be very, very honest and just say, I don't know what is happening with our relationship. You say this, I want this. Is that true? Because if not, a tarot reader has said that I need to start my own journey. So what do you want? And literally be that blunt. Be that upfront, because if you're asking me, it's obviously that you're asking yourself, and you've probably been asking yourself for a few months, if not a year or more. So if that is the case, maybe have that conversation with Aniket, and I hope that helps, my love. I really, really, really do. Let's see who else was here. Sage Goddess. Good evening, Sage Goddess. It's finally stopped raining and flooding here. Where are you then? Where are you? Because I am currently in the UK, and we are having the start of our spring summer. Our spring summer is starting, and it feels quite good. It really does. It feels so quite good. As Patricia says there below, look. Who else was here? L'Oreal Robertson. Good evening, my darling. You need to wait until I open up a free round, otherwise I won't see your questions. Divyansha Mishra, nice song. I know, right? It's almost like somebody wrote it and I just randomly sang a few bars. I know. No, I don't know what happened to Nightbot. I never turned Nightbot off. So the potato thing, I think it just went and stopped. Yes, I'm looking very glam and goth in this outfit. Am I? I consider this one of my professional outfits, apart from the bra strap that keeps falling down. But, you know, listen, Lavina, my darling, I think you just need to tell him. If it's your birthday on Saturday, if you're going to see him on Saturday, I think you just need to tell him and just say, I want to know what is happening. I want to know what is happening. Like, I just need to know. Good evening to the Gremlin. Good evening to the Gremlin. Yes, good evening. Right then, shall we open up another round? I think we should. We've got 17 people on the live stream tonight, so good evening to all of you. Good morning, good afternoon to all of you, because I am guessing that the majority of you are not here in the UK. For some reason, we are getting an awful lot of people from the Indian continent coming through, and also where was the other place that jumped up on the? There was somewhere else that I was really like, really? It's something like, it's not Australia or Tasmania or New Zealand, but it's something in that area, and I can't remember where it is. But when I was looking at the analytics this week, it was like the UK and America, which I kind of expect, but then they were like, India was like our third most popular place of people watching, where people are from, and then there was like the fourth one was this really unexpected place, and I can't remember where it was. It might have been it wasn't Dubai, but it might have been somewhere like that. I can't remember. I think it was somewhere in the Middle East. Anyway, good evening to everybody. So we are going to, or hello, I should say, to everybody. We are going to open up another round. Before we open up a second round, it's amazing that you all are here today, because we also have a brand new membership scheme that you can come and be a part of here on the YouTubes. And you can do that by just hitting the join button. But in case you didn't know, like, the story of the channel, here's just a little potted recap of the story of the channel. Yes, indeed. That's all you need to do to come and join our members only live streams, to come and be part of it, to see what I'm doing in the hours before a live stream even. I didn't post anything today because in the hours before today's live stream, I was mainly a little bit befuddled because I slept all of yesterday. I had a fibro crash, which is fibromyalgia. So I had a 24-hour crash, which means I went to bed on Sunday and woke up this afternoon. Well, actually, I woke up at it was this afternoon. It's just gone 12. So that was going to bed and then waking up 26 hours later, I think it was. So that was interesting. That was all good. That was all good. So yes, that happened. It wasn't 36 hours later. So yes, anywho, go on. We're going to open up another round of tarot readings. So once again, if you would like a reading, you know what you need to do by now. Go and do all the things, put it into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it as a super chat, and that will come through directly to me. Either way, do one of those things just about now. Yes, indeed. Let's have a look. Yes. Oh, I love that comment, Patricia. Where's it gone? Hasn't the internet shrunk the world down? Hasn't it just? It's the most amazing thing. The fact that little old me, like with less than 1,300 subscribers, the fact that I've got people that watch from literally all over the world is absolutely amazing. But yes, where were we? Right, L'Oreal, don't worry, I've got your question in. Sherry, I've got yours in. Sage Goddess, I've got yours in. Rabina Sir Hunter, good evening, my darling. I've got your question in as well. Yeah, Jay, I'm fine. It's just fibro. Very rarely these days. I haven't had a crash in a month because I've been on this doodah diet, the nightshade diet. I'm wondering, I had a little bit behind the scenes. I had a wrap 2 days running, the same wrap. It was an onion bhaji wrap, absolutely delicious. But I'm wondering if there was something in it that might have had potatoes in it, or it might have had, I don't know, something else in it that I'm not supposed to have anymore. But yeah, no, I'm absolutely perfectly fine. I literally woke up and was like, I don't know what day it is. I don't know anything about anything. And Uncle Rufus just basically says to leave me when I'm in that position. So that's what he does. Anyway, I've got your questions in. Let me have a wee look. Oh, Nanette's here as well. Good evening, Nanette. I was just about to swap channel. The nightshade diet does sound a bit poisonous, doesn't it? It really does. It really does. It's so fascinating, but it really does. It's complete witchy diet. I eat nothing. I eat the nightshade diet. Anyway, let's have a look. So I've got L'Oreal, Sherry, Sage, and Rabina in. So we're going to do the round and round the houses, and we're going. Oh no, I'm not even on the right. I'm not even on that section. Right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going with this one here. Sage Goddess, good evening, my darling. What do I need to know at the time? As in right now, do you mean? Do you mean right now? What do you need to know right now? I will have a little look as to what the cards say. Those of you that are not Sage Goddess, do me the favor of selecting and copying your question. And once you've done that, get ready and then paste it back into the chat when I open up another round, okay? That's a, oh no, you eat no nightshades. So have I not described this before? Yeah, so potatoes, tomatoes, bell peppers, chili powder, chili flakes, all of that, arguably paprika, but we're not entirely certain about that. You cut all of them out of your diet. What's it called? Aubergine as well. You take all of those out of your diet completely. And that then you see what happens. After 4 weeks, I was starting to regain cognitive function. My pain was altering, so it wasn't stabby pain, it was starting to be numb pain. Starting to be bruising pain. So instead of feeling like I'm being stabbed with a needle, it felt like I've been hit with a sledgehammer. Sounds just as painful, but it's a very different type of pain. Like a bruise is something you can deal with. Stabby, like pinprick pain is not. It's really much more difficult to kind of work through. And it helped. And it really has helped. And yep. Look at that. Thank you, Judy. You're a classical Chinese medicine practitioner. Oh, if you've got any advice for fibromyalgia, what else I might need to kick out, please let me know, because I did nightshade for 4 weeks and was starting to feel better. As I say, then the only thing I can think is I've had this one wrap 2 days running, because we picked a couple up for when we went to a car boot sale. And anywho, back to the tarot. Sage Goddess, goody. I know, right? Come for tarot reading, learn all about weird and wonderful diet plans. I know. It's for autoimmune disease. That's what the nightshade diet is for. It helps with a lot of autoimmune disease issues. But then we're going to go back to what we're all here for today. Honestly, if I wanted to do a live stream where I just sit and moan about how my health is and how poorly we are, then nobody would watch. Nobody would be watching. So we're going to do the tarot. So here we go. 1, 2, and 3. And wispy. Sage Goddess would like to know, what do they need to know at the time? What do they need to know right now and to come? So then let's have a look. Don't forget, Sage Goddess is one of our lovely members. You can use your exclusive emojis, what I did make. I did make them myself, I did. You can use those in the live chat. You can also come and see us on that there Sunday evening at 6 p.m. UK time. Just getting the plug in, by the way, for a pre-live live stream. And then there's a lot fewer people on the memberships, so you can always ask a question, a tarot reading on the live stream. And if you wanted to, on the pre-live live, and if you wanted to, they would be normally a slightly longer spread, a slightly longer reading as well. That's always an option, right? Okay. Going through a bit of shit right now, my darling. Going through a little bit of shit. Let me not put those away in the box. That makes no sense. So the first card, we're doing where you are, what you need to know, and what is to come. So then, where you are, let me just get my, there we go. And it's this one here. So this is the tower, right? Traditionally, it looks like this, except the animation on this, there we go, is missing people throwing themselves from the tower in burning flames, right? Historically, that is the image of that card. It's almost like a lighthouse being hit by lightning. In this deck, the tower is much less a lighthouse and far more your home. Now, it doesn't mean your house is going to burn down. What it means is that this is something is coming, or something is happening already that has pulled the rug from under you. It has absolutely, like, completely hit home, completely unexpected, and it's like everything you built up has come crushing down around your ears. Now, the one thing I would say, this card sounds like a negative, and quite often it is a negative in the short term. So short term, this is a horrendous card to come up, right? Everything's going around your ears. Oh my God, everything you've built up is going to crash down. Everything is rubbish. The world is burning. The sky is falling. However, what this card is actually doing is it's actually clearing a way for a better potential. Now, this isn't saying that everybody who gets the tower is going to have a much better future. What it's saying is that the tower card, when it comes up, it's basically getting rid of all of that preconceived shit that we all carry around, and it's it's doing so in a way that is, in the moment, is going to feel like it's come out of left field. It's going to come, oh my God, it's like an act of God, a force majeure. Like, I cannot believe this is even possible. This has happened. Oh my God. Ugh. Right? However, the thing that the Tower teaches us is that we can never take things for granted even when it comes down to our bricks and mortar safety and security, right? It teaches us that actually, whilst everything we thought was one way, life changes, situations change. And, you know, even the more we understand about science, even science changes. Even, you know, our understanding of the universe around us changes. And so this is saying that, yeah, there is a lot going on for you right now. Like, oh my God, your world has been turned upside down. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative. In the short term, boy, is it going to feel that way. But in the longer term, this can be one of those moments where you look back and go, actually, the silver lining was we never would have known about XYZ unless, do you know what I mean? So there is some silver lining here. What you need to know, and again, silver lining card, we've got the Ace of Wands. Now, this is not something you want to be doing. This is not something that you woke up 2 months ago and thought, do you know what, beginning in May would be a lovely time to do this. No. The Ace of Wands is starting a new project. That's what aces are. Wands is all about your sense of self, security, your confidence. And so in this case, this is saying that what you need to know, you have to find that confidence to start over. Whatever this is, you have to rebuild. And if that means literally pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, if that literally means kind of doing the whole 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, as long as it's that way round, you will be moving forward. But you need to find this new, better, more authentic, more confident version of Sage Goddess that's there. You just need to bring it to the forefront. And the fact this is reversed is saying, yeah, absolutely, you would not have done this on your own accord. Sometimes it takes something that we perceive to be as an almighty shock for this to happen. In the positive outcome, future-y type, what the opportunity to come is, we've got the Three of Pentacles. Now, this is literally about building. So this is literally about moving things forward. Growth card coming from the Pentacles, which is the element of Earth, which for me is all about growth, and the financial element. So maybe there's a financial boost coming, but also this is literally about using the tools to build something beyond you, right? So this is not just about your particular life where you are now. It's about building it beyond yourself and connecting beyond yourself. So as a 3 card, this actually looks really, overall, really positive. Now, I'm not undermining this Tower card at all. It is a shit card to go through. Absolutely, it is a shit card to go through when you're going through it. But as you come out the other side of it, and as it becomes sort of numb, if you like, as the pain and all of the trouble that the Tower card brings, as that comes into memory and starts fading away, you'll look at this as being a time where lots of positive things were given the space to grow. Again, this feels quite positive with this Ace of Wands. This is going to feel shit, but you'll find that confidence, you'll find that better version of you, and it will lead to this growth element where you've got that really good, vibrant energy, whether that's about work, where you are given a better position. Quite often 3s are around teams, so it could be you're given a better position as a team leader, anything like that. But it is going to be better for you to come. Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. And I really, really, really hope that helps. I really, really do. But that is going to be your reading for today, my darling. Right, let me have a look. Let me have a look. Right, let me go into the comments. Where are we? Oh, Ed's here. Ed's here properly. Hello, Ed. I hope you're okay, my darling. Oh, thank you. Honestly, don't like, but yeah, but thank you. You successfully diverted Lisa's attention with what? What did you subvert it with? With what? Oh, with the diet thing. Yes. Oh my God! Everybody's talking about the nightshade diet, right? So listen, let me very quickly. Again, where was I? Judy, if I'm wrong on this, just jump in a second. Obviously, you're a professional. I'm not going to ask you to give any medical advice or anything else on this channel. And if anybody is wanting to know about ways to combat fibromyalgia, there are different ways for different people. This is just something that I am experimenting with myself at the moment. So then, I am experimenting. Hang on, one second, everybody. Absolutely correct. You've been through a load of shit. Yeah. I'm so sorry. Oh, don't break down in tears, my darling. You listen, you will be absolutely fine. Look at that. Look at the sequence of events. Look at the sequence of events. Honestly, sometimes our lives are built on sand, right? Sometimes we build our house on sand and it doesn't work, does it? The Three Little Pigs knew that. We build a house out of sticks. Oh, great. That's wonderful. But what happens when the big bad wolf comes along? Exactly. And sometimes we can think our life is so strong and so well built that we lose our sense of making sure that everything is good. And then when the Tower card comes in, it literally says, this is, a learning curve. If something is built on a lie, or if something is built on not a solid foundation, eventually it will come up, it will show itself. And that's the same as physical houses, as it is with our mental health, as it is with relationships, as it is with physical health, right? And eventually what happens is the Tower comes along, shows itself, reveals itself, and then we have to move forward in a whole new way. And I've always said that the hardest lessons to learn, the most important lessons that we ever learn in life, the most important lessons are the most painful to go through. Because if they weren't the most painful to go through, they wouldn't be important. Do you know what I mean? It's like if you lose somebody you're very, very close to and you feel grief, you feel that grief for the relationship that you lost and for the person that you lost. If you don't grieve someone in that way, then you didn't have that type of relationship, in my experience, right? And so, yeah, your cards are really positive in the long term. It's just this initial going through it is when it's tough. Right, very quickly about fibro. Fibromyalgia is a autoimmune disease, the same as right, fibromyalgia is an autoimmune disease, which is the same as the lichen propularis, or whatever it's called, that I've got on my head, which is the same as the problems I have in my stomach. They're all very similar autoimmune diseases. Now, one of the ways at looking at them is you look at it holistically, and there are a range of different food types that can cause different, they can inflame certain things. So you look at the inflamed foods and the inflammation. Yeah, so you look at the foods that cause inflammation, right? And for me personally, not legal advice, not medical advice, but for me personally, when I eat certain foods, I feel a certain way. Now, all I've done is do a lot of research online and found this thing called the nightshade diet. And the nightshade diet is looking at the nightshade diet is basically a way of I'm getting distracted. The nightshade diet is a particular diet that looks at a range of vegetables from the nightshade family. Now, all of those have a toxin included in them, just as part of their makeup. Now, for most people, 90%, whatever it is, of people that don't have any autoimmune disease, those foods will be fine. It's a bit like saying you do not have any health benefits of eating gluten-free bread if gluten does not affect you. All you're doing is paying 3 times more for crappy bread, right? However, and it's the same with the nightshade diet. Potatoes aren't going to make you poorly, except if all you're eating them is fried next to a McDonald's burger. However, what you've got, for those of us that have an autoimmune disease, quite often the food that we fuel our bodies with can cause a reaction. And for me, taking those foods out of my diet that are part of the nightshade family was starting to have a reaction. I already know that gluten causes me some bad symptoms, and dairy causes me some symptoms. So if I take out gluten, dairy, potatoes, bell peppers, tomatoes, chili, aubergine, and there was a couple of other things as well, but if I take those out of my diet, which I've done for 4 weeks, thank you Patricia, thank you Sophie, thank you, I'll get to yours next. If I take all of those out of my diet, which I did for 4 weeks, I started to feel better. So instead of my fibro pains being sharp stabbing needle pins, they were like a bruise. It was still painful, but in a different way. And instead of feeling like I'm not wearing my glasses and I've got ear defenders on, and I've got a weird thing where I've stepped off of a tilt-a-whirl, so everything, my balance is gone and everything. Instead of feeling like that for 90% of my day, it might only be 75% of my day. So it had lessened. And that is really surprising, because I wasn't doing this for fibro. I was doing this for the lichen propylaris, which is basically an autoimmune disease where my scalp thinks my hair is a foreign body and tries to kill it off. So that is what was actually happening. And for me personally, that nightshade diet was starting to help. Again, it's not like I've come off it. I just had a wrap. I thought I checked it. Maybe I didn't check it enough. There wasn't obviously tomato or anything else in there. So maybe it was something else in the ingredients that I didn't check. I don't know. It could have been the chili, could have been anything. But for me, that is what has started to help. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody has the same trigger foods or, foods that cause inflammation of the gut or whatever. I also, as a disclaimer, I also drink a lot of kombucha for good gut health. I have a lot of, well, not a lot, but I have some fermented foods in my diet. So, I'm trying to do all I can to try and help. And also, if you've noticed, I'm trying to reduce my caffeine intake. So I do have decaf coffee, and today I'm drinking water. So yeah, all of that being said, do your research, speak to your medical team about fibro and other conditions, because it's not good. Anyhow, I just wanted to flag this up. Your foundation was on a swamp. You've been working through obstacle after obstacle for the past 3 years, and it's just exhausting. It will be, my darling. But listen, you can absolutely move forward. Absolutely, you can move forward. It's about having that ace of wands. Gain some confidence, my love. Do something for you. Do self-love. Start that process and start moving forward. And I hope that helps. Right then, fibro is connected with the emotions of worry and fear, as is, I am somebody who lives on a knife edge of stress 99% of the time with the ADHD. So, hey ho. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Lisa's health problems, because we'll be here all day. Let's talk about some tarot. Sophie Kang, thank you very much for the £5 doodah. Super chat, that's what it's called. So you got scammed big time recently. Lawyers now will try to retrieve the money from the banks. Will I get all the money back? I'm worried about money. My darling, first of all, first of all, don't beat yourself up about being scammed, right? I am on a lot of websites, not a lot of websites. I watch a lot of content, there we go, about scamming the scammers, right? I watch a lot of Catfish. I watch a lot of all of those type of programs where they investigate scams. And I was very nearly scammed myself, right? very, very nearly. It was literally the last minute as I was about to hit send. I was like, oh, little red flag went off, and I was like, maybe I'll Google the website, and maybe I'll just Google if this is a scam. And it came up on the first page, and I was like, but yeah, so trust me, we can all be scammed from time to time. But let's have a look, and let's indeed see what the cards have to say. Now, this is not legal advice, and this is not financial advice, obviously, but I will attempt that for you. So then let's have a wee look, and we'll see what the cards have to say. So then, by the way, if you are new here joining us for the first time, you do hit that subscribe button and then hit your bell. There we go. And then change your settings to all so that YouTube can let you know each and every time I go live or every time that I release a new video. So then let's have a look. We are going to, as always, ring the bell and bring in the ever lovely Wispy. If you don't know what Wispy is my air elemental dragon that I work with. Just imagine this lovely dragon here made out of steam, embers, smoke, the ether, clouds, good thoughts. What else? That slight bleariness when you first wake up in the morning and your eyes haven't quite fallen into place. Do you know what I mean? That kind of like smoky smeariness. All of that is what Wispy is made out of. And Wispy is a loving dragon. So that was me, by the way, that just pulled that one through. Wispy is a lovely dragon who connects with the Akashic records to go and get the information for the cards, if that makes sense. If you want to know more, I know, right? It sounds so complicated. If you want to know more, just down there where the page flip is, where there's like a line across the page, there is a link. And in that link is the podcast episode that me and Neil did all about my dragons, all about them. So yes, do go and check that out. Right then, Wispy. So Sophie Kang got scammed. And the lawyers are now trying to retrieve the money from the banks. It's all getting a bit complicated, but will she get all the money back? She's worried about money. I keep seeing this. Right, Wispy, we know if a card needs to flip, you need to absolutely flop it out onto the desk face up. Okay, that's how we're doing it, Wispy. You know this. Right then. So is Sophie Kang going to get her money back from the scam? Or at least get some of the money from the banks? What is likely to happen here? I'll give you one go round, one shuff round. Ready? Shuff one. I don't know what shuffles are called, what this is called when you do one of them. We call it a shuff. Shuff one. Failed. Shuff two. You wouldn't think I've been doing this 29 years, would you? Shuff three. And the last one, Wispy. There we go, shuff four. So there's no clarifying or modifying card, but that's fine. Let's have a look. Okay. So we're going to go with the... I'll tell you what, we'll do the inverted triangle, Wispy, with the what you need, need to know, where you are, what you need to know. Okay, that's what we'll do. Right, so where you are right now. Oh, hanged one. What you need to know. The moon reversed. What the outcome is. What's the connective tissues? Okay, and the root. Oh, my darling. Right, okay, so let's have a look. Where you are right now, we have the hanged one. Now, in other decks, this is called the hangman, and in other decks, it's a person hanging on a tree. And the story of this card is that it's Odin hanging on the tree of life to get the knowledge and the wisdom of the runes. Now, in this case, you can see this person is tied in a very elaborate way, underwater, tied to these trees or whatever they are, posts underwater, but it is still the hanged one. It still means the same thing. Now, in this case, the hangman always, or the hanged one always means sacrifice and waiting for a potential, waiting for the right time, waiting to get the right knowledge, if that makes sense. And so the hanged one is talking about being in a position where you just have to wait for its bits and pieces to come through, if that makes sense. You just have to wait for the universe to kind of unfold in its own time. There's not a lot that you can do to move this forward. You can see, especially with this card, this person has been tied underwater. They have gained this knowledge. Look at this halo around their head. They've gained the knowledge. They just need to wait. And once it's the right time, the person will come along and release them, or whatever it is, right? But that will happen when it happens. It's not happening yet. And that's basically what this card is talking about in terms of sacrifice, in terms of waiting, in terms of, you know, biding your time. That's still what you need to do. This isn't going to happen immediately, okay? But it does feel like things behind the scenes will be happening in their own time, I guess. Now, in what you need to know, we've got the moon reversed. Now, the moon is a good card. This is a little bit different on obviously the more standard decks. On this deck, you can see the person is sat waiting again with a full moon, and you can see that they are in prayer mode. They're, you know, sitting looking at the moon. When this is reversed, it's saying, look, there's nothing you can do here to speed this up. There is a certain amount of spiritual connection with this card because of what we all assume, you know, we have a spiritual connection with the moon. So there's an element of that to it. There's an element also of time. The full moon, we would look at a monthly cycle or monthly cycles, okay? Again, what you need to know, time. This is going to take time. This is going to take more time than you're comfortable with for it to happen at all. And I don't, in all honesty, because again, this is called Beyond Authentic, I have to be fully authentic back, right? I honestly don't, but I think you'll get some. Reason I'm saying that, with I'll come to with this card, but this is, again, there's not a lot you can do while this is going through, right? There's not a lot. If you've gone through the lawyers and you're going through the banks and you're going through everything you can, there's not a lot that you can do right now. All you can do is to try and not beat yourself up about how this happened, and maybe help educate others. You know what I mean? Maybe help educate others. The Five of Swords, which is the future outcome. Swords is trouble and strife, challenges, and the fives are periods of time where there is a quote unquote, there is a, oh, come on, brain. Look, whatever way this goes, right, with the five, whichever way it goes, whichever one of these you pick is not the best one. Whatever outcome, that's the word I was looking for. Flame me now, my brain. Whatever outcome happens is not going to be right for everyone. So somebody here has claimed victory in this battle or this war. So they've claimed victory, and the winners have put their swords down. The losers have, like, theirs are just representing here on the ground that they just lost. But nobody ever wins in this battle, because, you know, some of these are not looking exactly new. Like, there's shading and all sorts of stuff going on in them. Is that shading? Is it supposed to be something else? Who can say? But the fives are all about there being unresolved issues, unresolved problems, things that haven't yet fully worked out. But sometimes you just got to leave it be, right? So again, this is saying that I think you will get some, but not everything. It looks like 3/2. So again, it looks like you'll get more than half, perhaps, of what was taken from you, but I don't think you're going to get everything. And I think that's just going to be one of those swords, those hurdles, those challenges that you need to face, my darling. I really, really do. It's like whatever you get back is a bonus, but it does feel like you'll get more than half, hopefully more than half back. Again, this is only for entertainment purposes. You make all your own decisions, and this is just some colored bits of card on a desk. The connective tissue between the Hanged One and the Moon, so this time element, we've got the 9 of Pentacles. Now, regular viewers and regular subscribers will know that I always call this the Famine or Feast card, which in this seems more appropriate than ever before, because it really does feel like it's all or nothing. And if this is a scam that you got caught up in, how can I put it? If it's a scam that you got caught up in because you were in need and you needed to make some more cash, or you needed to do something like that, if it's one of those type of scams, then I can absolutely see where that situation arose from. And again, do not beat yourself up over it. Like, they are absolute experts at what they do. It links in with these two in that I get the impression you've been told by an awful lot of people, my darling, that it's all or nothing. You'll either get it back or you won't. I don't think that's true. I think there will be something coming back to you. Not everything, and maybe just over half. So whatever got taken, I do think you'll get some back. But I also think that here, look, when we look at the 2 cards that are linking the Moon reversed with the 5, we've got the 4 of Swords. So again, more problems. This is about, so force me about staleness, things kind of things being stable, right? Again, things ticking over, things that will take their time. Thank you, Patricia. And I think this is going to take some time. I don't think there's going to be any kind of quick fix. I do think this is going to take a protracted amount of time for you to get whatever you are going to get back. The root of it, now, my darling, you got scammed, right? So you could take that as being, oh, I'm so silly, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, I'm so naive, that is one way to think of it. However, these people are bloody masters at what they do. They wouldn't get so much money if they weren't bloody good at what they do, right? These scams have become increasingly believable, increasingly complex, and increasingly, complicated. And the thing is, it's very easy in the moment to do this Knight of Wands. This is you in the moment. You did something, it turned out to be a scam. I nearly did something that would have been a scam. You know what I mean? It's very easy in the moment to get caught out. So listen, I'm going to take this middle card out, and we're going to look at a past to present, right? It's not what you want to hear. Again, let me just, if I click this other thingy on, is it this one? There we go. Look, it's the guidance you need, not necessarily the answers you want, right? This is not the answer you want, but this is the answer that the cards have for you. So we go from this situation where you got yourself into something. The Hanged One came in, right? So that is now, it's kind of where you are. So there's a lot of waiting, a lot of, time. It will come out in time, a lot of sacrifice going on, hard lessons being learned, all of that. We get to the Feast or Famine. I don't think it's going to be quite that. But I do think, I do think that there is going to be, I think there's going to be a bit of a, this is going to be an expensive learning curve, put it that way, right? I don't think it's Feast or Famine, but I do think there is going to be a cost to this. The Knight of Wands comes in because you've got the Knight energy jumping in where angels fear to tread. Knights are those rebellious characters. They are the ones that act first, think later. So you've got this happening here. So we go from this position of needing to wait to hopefully it's not going to be an all or nothing story, getting to the Knights, and this is the realization of what happened, and feeling guilt and feeling it, like all of those negative feelings about yourself. But that's because we're in the Wands. Wands is all about our self-esteem. Don't beat yourself up over it, right? Everybody can get caught with these things. However, we've got a certain amount of stability going on, so a certain amount of everything is just going to tick over in terms of the troubles with getting this resolved until we finally do get a resolution. And when that resolution comes, it's not everything, but you will get something back. That's what the cards are saying here, that you will get something back. It may be that if there's two banks, one will get you some money back and one won't, or something. Like, I hope that helps, my darling. I really do. The overall thing, I think, is just try to be patient and try not to beat yourself up. Listen, everybody's been there. We've all been there to a certain extent, where whether it's being, you know, mugged off by one of the charity muggers in the street, where you sign up, you know, you sign a petition against animal cruelty. Oh, okay, we all want that. And then you find out that you've actually signed up for a year's worth of adopting a world famous ant in the ant farm in Belarus. And you go, really? Not kind of what I thought I was signing. But anyway, I hope that helps. Stick in there. I know it's going to be incredibly scary right now. I do think you'll be getting something back, but please, do everything you can. You've got lawyers involved. Let them take the lead. But also things like money supermarket expert or money savings expert, he might be able to help. You know, contact people. Make a big listen. My advice, right? Nothing to do with the cards, as you can see. Nothing to do with the cards. My advice. Are you ready? My advice. Be a TV whore for 2 minutes. Yeah. I don't mean in a way of earning more money. I mean, go on every single one of those programs where they have the investigative teams, right? Every single one of them, whether that, I don't know what's on telly these days, but whether that's Watchdog or This Morning with the money saving expert person, or whether that be on, you know, a Channel 4 thing, whatever it is, use this fact that you did get scammed, right? And try and go on every single TV program, because they'll all have their investigators. And it may well be that one of them will just know or will have dealt with this before in a particular way, that they might be able to do something that the lawyers might not, right? But go on every single one of them. That would be my advice. And yeah, I really do hope that that helps. And again, I am so incredibly sorry that this happened to you. I'm sorry it happened to anyone, but I am very sorry that it happened to you, my darling. But thank you very much for your comment. Right then, Kazar Suarez, Ruth, that makes life a lot easier. Ruth, I've got your question in. I will get to that next. Before I do, I've got to say a huge thank you to one of our amazing team who was doing some filming for their own channel recently and decided to film this. And in so doing, they managed to send this over as to their authentic and honest opinion about what I do here. Did that make sense? Probably not, but I'm going to play the clip.
Lisa is such a good tarot reader. I've experienced that for myself because Lisa's read for me quite a few times. But as a mod on her channel, I've also seen loads of times when people have said things like, oh yeah, that really resonates, or that's exactly it, you've hit the nail on the head. And because she doesn't sugarcoat, she just tells it like it is. It can really be quite an emotional and cathartic experience because they're not just being told what they want to hear, they're being told, as she says it, what you need to know. So I definitely recommend her. It's a really good idea to sign up for one of her memberships because they're such good value. You can be part of private live streams that take place before the main ones. And then you're in a much smaller group of people, so you're not competing with all these other people to get a reading. And it's also just a chance to chat with other like-minded people who have that kind of spirituality.
Isn't that a lovely thing to say? That's Holland from Blue Chalice, and Holland and Neil here on the channel. They're two moderators. They're also two people I consider to be bloody amazing friends, and two people who also have Etsy shops, which I will talk about in a little bit. Before I do, sorry if I'm not responding in the chat. It's because I'm literally, while I'm reading the tarot cards, I can't have the chat up as well, otherwise I would be very easily distracted. So I've got to say thank you to Sophie. No worries, Sophie. Thank you for your question. And it is between two banks. There we go. But it's exactly what you expect to happen. I think this is it. I think you are quite right. I think you will get some back, but not all. So yeah, fingers crossed, my darling. I hope that helps. And yeah, let me just go on to the next reading. Kazar Suarez. Right then, Ruth, my darling, you are up. I'm going to read for you right now. As I do, we're changing the camera screen. Not the camera screen, you know what I mean, changing the camera. And we're going to spin the wheel. What am I even saying? I'm ringing the bell. We're spinning that wheel. That's right. Right then. Oh dear, Ruth. Wispy, Ruth wants to know, will Christopher Alexander approach Ruth to tell Ruth his feelings anytime soon? Will Christopher Alexander approach Ruth to tell her his feelings anytime soon? That's what we want to know. Okay, let's have a look. You know, for a brief second, right, this is how my ADHD brain works. See this name just here, Kazar Suarez. For a split second, my brain read Kaiser Sose. I know. It has some of the matching letters. You are quite right, brain. Some of those letters are also in the name Kaiser Sose. However, the majority of them are not, and they're not in this order. So that is not what that says. However, we've had a card jump. The card has jumped. As I said before, it has to jump very much noticeably out of the deck and be upright, and that is what the Emperor has done. It was slightly on its side, but more upright than not. So the Emperor is the card that you have. A clarifying or modifying card does exactly what it says on the tin, Ruth. It basically is the lens that we look at this reading through. So what is the Emperor? The Emperor is an architect, right? The Emperor is the one who basically makes the final decisions. The Emperor is the one who decides where things go within the empire. But you can see here, the Emperor has all of the architectural tools, the blueprints, the measurements, all of that going on. You can see the horns are the sort of ethereal horns here, the horns of the goat, because the Emperor is quite often linked in with is it Aries, the sign of the ram? I can't remember. I don't do astrology on this channel. Everybody knows that's here. But yes, so this is the lens we look at, and once a card flips out in a particular way like so, then we stop the shuffling and we go to cutting the deck. Obviously, as I always say, if you were here, you would be doing the shuffling and you would be doing the cutting of the cards, but you're not, so I have to do it on your behalf. Right then, will Christopher Alexander approach me to tell me his feelings anytime soon? I think what we need to have is a relationship reading, so we're going to go with what you want. Is it going to be that one, or is it going to be opportunity, challenge, and outcome? Bear with, I'm just looking at my options on spreads. Okay, what we're going to do is where you are, where your partner or Christopher Alexander is, and what the relationship future is going to look like as an inverted V, Wispy, okay, as an inverted V. So then, where you are, Six of Pentacles, okay, where Christopher Alexander is, Ten of Cups reversed, and where the relationship is headed, the Six of Cups. Okay. Linking where you are and where Christopher Alexander is. Oh, we got the Two of Swords. Okay, not the best card to come up in that position. Between the 10 of Cups, Christopher Alexander, and the 6 of Cups, we've got the Knight of Wands. And the root of it all, we've got the King of Wands. Right, okay. Right. I feel like I need to do this first of all. We've got a red flag card. This is the red flag card. The King of Wands is the red flag card. Okay, so there is something about this that isn't going to fit particularly well. So before I go any further, I just felt like I need to mention that. Now, there are no major cards apart from the Emperor. The Emperor's come in reversed. So I don't know what type of relationship. Oh, hang on. I didn't click on the Emperor, did I? There we go. This is what a standard Emperor would look like. So literally the Empire, the ruler of the Empire. Our Emperor is quite different in this deck. But I don't know. I don't know whether or not you need to have I don't know whether or not you need to have a little bit of a right. I'm trying to be polite, Ruth. This whole reading is red flagged from top to bottom. This Emperor, right? The Emperor's lovely, absolutely lovely when he's upright, right? A good, strong leader, really lovely, really grand, good person. However, when the Emperor comes in reversed, he's a dictator, absolutely dictator, if that makes sense. Properly dictator. So do please be aware of that, right? So let's just move the dictator out of the shot for a second. Let's have a look where you are in terms of the relationship. The 6 of Pentacles. You are wanting to be generous. You are wanting to give the benefit of the doubt. You are wanting to, maybe allow things to go a certain way, put up with certain things, be charitable about things, put it that way, even when it may not be deserved, right? So I think there's a really positive element for you here, in that you are a really positive person, and out of this, whatever's gone on, it feels like you're willing to see the positive and move forward. However, the Emperor has got the 10 of Cups reversed. So I'm calling Chris the Emperor, but this is Chris's position, and what Chris wants. The 10 of Cups, right? Now listen, I always say when the 9 is full and 10 is overflowing. Now, in this case, oh, Wispy, give me this again. All I'm getting is this gut instinct of overflowing with bullshit. That's what I'm trying to not say. It just feels really off. This Emperor card, right? When it's reversed, quite often the 10 of Cups, or quite often all of the cup cards are talking about a sadness or something like that. I don't get that with this. I get Cups is emotions overall. I don't know whether this is sadness or whether this is some other really strong emotion that Christopher Alexander has displayed or can display. It doesn't feel very nice, put it that way. The 10 of Cups is, it could be that he's really sad over something he did, or he's really sad over something that's happened, and really remorseful, in which case there could be a way forward. We get to the potential relationship moving forward. We've got the 6 of Cups. The 6 of Cups is talking again about community. It's talking, in a lot of decks, this will be talking about a celebration. This is almost the after effects of a celebration, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't know if that is something that you need to maybe look at, because it really doesn't feel very celebratory. I mean, it literally doesn't look like that in this deck. It's got some other connotations, but the Six of Cups is normally looking at things from a positive perspective. So it could well be that, yeah, this is a living together situation where people are supportive of you way into the future. Possibly, right? I'm trying to be as neutral as I can here with this king coming in. My fears kicked in immediately. Well, as soon as the Emperor came up reverse for one, but on this level, right? This is what we say. This is what we feel. This is the root. What we feel between you and Chris came up the Two of Swords. This is the crossed words card. This is the card that is all about negativity, arguments, crossed swords. There being lots of disagreements. There being lots of properly negative things going on between the two of you, right? This does not feel like a positive relationship. Anywhere you see water in the tarot deck, it means emotions like the cups. However, in this case, it's very negative because it's the swords. Swords are challenges. Swords are hurdles to overcome. This could be a hurdle to overcome, but coming off the back of this giantly reversed Emperor card, it feels like there's a big old issue, particularly because then we've got the Knight of Wands. So something is between the Ten of Cups, which is what Christopher Alexander, where we see him, leading to this Six of Cups potential. We've got the Knight of Wands. So this is something that Chris has done. Knights are fast responding, fast action people. This is somebody who was very, 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 very quick to act, quick to think, went on their own doodah, went on their own actions, basically very, very, very sure of themselves and rushed in, right? It doesn't feel like anything was thought out. So if there was a cheating or if there was anything like that, it doesn't feel like it was really brain running the body at that moment. But then it leads to this, which is the red flag card, as we call it on this channel, because this is ultimately, this is the red flag. This is the danger, warning, Will Robinson card. And it's come in reversed, which is even more intense. King of Wands, like even this way up, it can be a positive. It can be a force for good. But invariably what we found with this deck is that the King of Wands in this deck is a complete warning moment, the ultimate red flag. When it's reversed at the root, it's the ultimate. We've got the Emperor reversed. We've got the King of Wands reversed. Listen, I am not here to tell you what to do with your life, right? It's your life. You make all your own decisions about your life. However, if you were a friend of mine, if you were a good friend and you were with me in a pub drinking a couple of bottles, listen, if you were a good friend round at mine, right, and we'd had a curry, watched a silly film, and we're on the second bottle of wine, then I would be telling you, run away from this man. What the hell are you doing? This is so there. Run away. Because everything in this is screaming at me to do that, right? I'm trying to be neutral here for the sake of professionalism. But when we look at these two, there's no movement forward. We go from a 6 to a 6, right? We go from the 6 of Pentacles, money, looking at things. Maybe there's some growth going on, but generally things are not looking great. Things are just okay. So then Two of Swords, lots of challenges within the couple, difficulties within the couple. Then we go to the King of Wands, the red flag card. So we go, who caused the trouble? Maybe it was the king. Probably, because then we get the Knight of Wands. So the king caused some trouble and then acted and it's put it back into that 6 of cups position, all whilst the Emperor is hanging over like a bloody dodgy authority figure, a dictator. And it really does feel I don't know whether Chris Alexander should approach you to tell you his feelings soon. In my gut instinct, if he does, then your reaction should be, okay, thanks, bye, thank you, next. I'm sorry, Ruth. I'm sorry that this is not coming up with better cards for you or better knowledge, but literally this is exactly as the cards are falling, and as soon as they fell, it just wasn't going to be particularly positive for you, my darling. But I do genuinely hope that helps. I really do. I hope that helps. And listen, we've all had difficult relationships, we've all had dodgy experiences, and all I can say is that we do get through them. Okay, so if this is your wake up moment for a relationship that's got so many warnings in place, then I'm happy to be the one that offers the warning. But yeah, as I say, I wish you nothing but the very, very, very best of luck, and I hope that in some way that helps. I really do. And yeah, maybe if Christopher doesn't contact you, and maybe doesn't approach you, then maybe at that point that's actually a blessing. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your super chat, and thank you for your question this evening. Right then, I'm not going to lie, mods, I am starting to feel a lot fatigued, so this may well be my last reading this evening. Let me just have a look in that live chat. Thank you, Ed. 8:30. Yeah, my back's starting to hurt. Thank you for, there we go. Thank you for your comment, Ruth. I'm sorry that it wasn't a more hopeful picture. I really am. You giggle every time dictator is said. You're so sorry. It's making, well, he is the Emperor when he's reversed is a dictator. Oh gosh, oh wow, the conversation's been going on. What? Imaginary Kazoo Orchestra, welcome to you in the chat. What's that? That was a portrait in the backyard, and that was an invisible barrier around our little neighborhood area. You've been flooded? I've obviously missed something. You gave me 5 thumbs up on this live stream. Have you? Thank you. I can't see thumbs up from here. So let's have a like spike. If you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button. And yeah, go ahead and do that if you haven't already. Thank you very much. Your bell wasn't clicked. But make sure your bell, hang on, there we go. Make sure your bell is donged and you change your settings to all. Oh, thank you, Nanette, on your other channel. Sage God, flooding has been catastrophic here. I'm truly grateful I've been spared as my surrounding area. Wow. Hang on, I'm glad the bank picked up on that. What was it that the bank picked up on? Wow. Yeah, I had that. I signed up for something and then they tried to take a lot of money and the bank did the same thing. So banks are normally pretty good. The Usual Suspects, a great film. It was good, wasn't it? What? AutoCAT rectal strikes again. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm getting distracted by reading all of the comments. So then, oh, good evening, Cherie. Goodbye, Cherie. I hope you're well. Right. let's do the final round tonight. I'm going to do the final round. So then, everybody, this next round is going to be the final round. I'm going to do one more reading for tonight. Now, if you want to nab the final space, you can do so by going ahead and sending a super chat. That will guarantee that you get the last reading of tonight. If I do get more than one super chat, I will honor them up until 9 p.m. But if we don't get any super chats and you would like to get yourself a free reading, you can also do that by popping your question into the live chat, starting with the word question. And if we don't get any super chat questions, I will pick one of the free ones to read as we go at random. So go ahead and do either of those two things. The round is open. This is probably going to be the last round for tonight, unless we get a load of super chats in mysteriously. Yep, that's the word. So go ahead and do the things now. I'm going to hit the magic button to play a little video. While I do so, pop your questions into the live chat, starting with the word question, or send it as a super chat. Thank you very much. Okay, it looks as if, Rabina, it looks as if you are the only question in this round, which means you get the question. Yay, Rabina, yours is the last one before the end of play today. I know, right? I keep saying all these sports metaphors, these sport ball metaphors, but I have no idea what they mean. I know what end of play means, but I have no idea. Is that just all sport balls? Probably. Anywho, let's have a look. Well, would you say end of play in a swimming contest? In a snooker, the end of play? I don't know. Let's cleanse the space. Oh, definitely. If I ate something, I don't know what. Yeah. Anywho, let's have a look. Okay, bear with me. Thank you, Holland. Right. There we go. Wispy, come on in, Wispy. Rabina Salanta, a long-time friend of the channel. Rabina was here when we still did makeup reviews on this channel. That's how long ago. That is how long Rabina has been joining us here on the live streams and on in general on this channel. Very, 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 very long time. But Rabina would like to know, will she pass her essay? Let's have a look. We've got the star coming up. Okay. As a clarifying card. Now, the star, now listen, right? There is a rumor doing the rounds that when I was in my younger years, I posed naked for a certain tarot card. I cannot say that this was true at all, right? If there are any similarities between tarot and anybody that is a real person in the real life, then that is just a coincidence, okay? This is not based on any actual human being, apparently, allegedly. This is just a thing. So if just bear that in mind. But yeah, remarkably similar. Anywho, the star is about wishful thinking. However, this is reversed. So it's not talking about wishful thinking. It's talking about there being, this needs to be more than a wish. It needs to be more than a wish, right? So if you don't do any study and you just write it the day before it's due, chances are you ain't going to pass. You ain't going to get no good marks. Nothing's going to happen. It's all going to be a bit rubbish for you. However, if you do lots of study, lots of planning, and you put that all into context and you have this wonderfully written essay, that's when the star becomes a goal, right? And that's really important. So this card is coming up overall. But what we're going to do, Rabina, is I will pull you the 3 cards, and we'll do what you, where you are, what you need to know, and what the opportunity is. Okay, so then where you are, let's have a look. Where you are, 8 of Pentacles, lots of work. So this is about burning the candle both ends to get work done. The journey isn't over yet. This is all about the journey towards the 9. Keep increasing things. Again, study really, really hard, study well, all of that. It's talking about, you know, that things are not done yet. You know that the journey is not over yet. You still have things to accomplish and things to do. So it's a good card in terms of where you are. What you need to know, the 2 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so 2s are often about couples or study partners. Pentacles is again work, career, or finance, or study. And the fact that it's coming up reversed, maybe, question mark, maybe be a bit mindful of the people that are helping you to study, or be a bit mindful of the people around you that maybe aren't helping you to study. But this could be a partner, it could be a family member. This is like one of those things where you go, I'm you know, before lockdown, when people were like, I'm working from home, then everybody was just in and out of that room all the time. And it was only through lockdown that everybody realized, oh, actually, you can be on Zoom calls. And, you know, mummy's working, kids, don't go in and interrupt mummy, or daddy's on a work meeting. Daddy's in a work meeting. Don't go in and see him in the bedroom. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, there's definitely something around that going on in the what you need to know. I think it's fine in terms of this particular essay, but just be a bit careful. Be a bit careful about who's around you when you're studying and doing things. And then we've got the Justice card, and it's upright. So I feel like in theory the answer should be yes, but that Justice card is giving me a little bit of a question. Justice normally means the law or legal matters. So if there's anything coming in around that, then I think you do need to maybe just have a little look, maybe have a little warning over that. Overall, where does this put us? The star. Have you submitted the exam yet? Will be the question, because if you have, it's done. If you haven't, there's still time to study and to make this not be a wish, but to be a goal, right? I would say be careful of finding the time for you to write the essay properly, because it kind of feels like your time is being pulled with family or partner or something. Again, if you're studying with someone, make sure that your study time is actually spent studying, not that it's, you know, gossiping time. I don't mean gossiping time. What the hell am I talking about? But you know what I mean? That you're not spending a lot of time just talking or talking about studying rather than studying, because quite often that can happen. The Justice card, the fact that it's upright, I think you'll pass. I don't like it though, right? I don't like the Justice card for you here in this position. I really don't like it, Rabina, because it almost feels like you might have to, it might be one of those situations where you need 75 out of 100 to pass and you get given a 74. You know what I mean? There could be something around that where you need to just go, excuse me, can I have this looked at by another tutor? And at which point, oh yeah, you get 89. You know what I mean? Could be something like that. I think overall it's looking positive. It is looking positive. I think you just need to, if you haven't done the essay yet, then it might need a bit more studying and a bit more, you know, you might have to go to the library and do some studying rather than doing it in the house is all I would say with that. But overall, I think you'll be fine. I think you'll be absolutely fine, my darling. It's just this justice card is a little bit of a concern, but hopefully you won't need it. Hopefully you won't need it. The other cards seem to suggest that you'll be okay. And the justice card itself says it's upright, so you should have an absolutely positive outcome. It's just a little bit, I wish it was a different card. That's all I'm saying for you, my darling. But as I say, I can't even change the guidance for me, let alone for anyone else. So it's not necessarily I'm unhappy with this card. For you, it's perfectly fine, right? It's an upright justice card. It feels like it will be fine. For me, I just wish this was a more positive card in terms of absolutes, but it does feel very positive overall. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense, my darling. It might just be that you've got to ask for a second opinion on it, is all I'm saying. But it overall, it does feel quite positive. And with that, I'm going to say thank you very, very much. So yes, let me go into the live chat. I've got one more reading to do. Hang on, that one. Press the buttons, Lise. Press the buttons. There we go. The justice card could represent the failed one. Failed. Hang on. I was about to say failed what? Let me have a look. You failed the last one. You study alone but cannot focus. Right. Okay. If you've got trouble focusing, try having on my I'm going to do another one, actually. I'm going to do another one. I was going to say on the channel, if you look, you can find a body doubling channel, a body doubling live stream, right? I'm going to do another one. I'm going to do one where literally I'm just sat. I might have, no, I won't have any music on. I might have some music on, like the non-copyright background music. And I'm going to be editing a podcast. And basically what I'm suggesting you do, if you have difficulty studying alone, which that might be where the Two of Pentacles, that might be why the Two of Pentacles was reversed, because you need a body double. That would make a lot of sense. So have a look for something called body doubling. It's basically where, oh, and I did also say study in a cafe. That's interesting, or in a library, because that's interesting as well. Sometimes we can't function to do the things we need to do when we're on our own, because we get distracted so easily and our own thoughts become blah, 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 blah. And sometimes just sitting with someone, even if it's a pre-recorded video, sitting with someone and saying, I'm going to study for half an hour. Sometimes being on that video or watching a video with somebody else on screen can kind of make it feel like you're in the room with someone. And then that kind of almost guilt trips you into studying, because it's almost like, oh yeah, I'll study with you for 2 hours on Thursday. Okay. And then you kind of get stuck. But then if you're watching a video of somebody doing it, it's kind of like they're studying their subject and you're studying yours. So they're studying biomechanical engineering. I don't know what that is. And you're studying advanced law. And so you're not going to stop and have a conversation and go, oh, did you know? Right. So you're in no way connected, but you just prefer to study with someone. Try that. Try the videos. It really has helped me when I've got to stay focused on something. The other way of doing it is try the Pomodoro technique, which is basically where for me, I study or work on a task for 20 minutes, stop for 5 minutes, and then I will put some music on and dance around the room, or I will go for a wee, or I will grab, put the kettle on for a coffee. And then I come back to 20 minutes of studying. And you do that for, I think it's over 2 hours. And so for me, that has also been hugely helpful. Body doubling and Pomodoro technique. I recommend them wholeheartedly if you struggle to study and do things on your own. I really, really do. And I hope that helps. I really hope that helps. Right then, let me just have a look. There was another one. Hang on. Yeah, this deck from this, it's just, yeah, try it. It's called the Pomodoro technique. You can, if you've got an Alexa at home, right, you can create your own routine. It doesn't always work, but you can create some. And if you want to do it yourself, right, you can literally just do, you can set a timer for 20 minutes and then set a timer for 5 minutes and intersperse them, right? That's the best way of doing it, because what I found on my Alexa, she won't, after playing music for 5 minutes, she doesn't shut off and go to the next 20-minute round all the time. Sometimes she'll just play music for evermore, and then I'm lost then. But yeah, try that. It really, really does help, and help you stay focused. So then let's have a look. Sage Goddess, you're the very last reading today. So then we are going to, I need to put my little banner up, don't I? My thingy. I need to do my thingy. It's Tuesday, so there we go. There's no Thursday morning this week, or Thursday midnight this week, Friday morning, whatever it was, because I am very, very tired. I think we're going to do it as a monthly. We might do it as a fortnightly. Haven't quite worked all that out yet. Need to chat to the mods about it all and decide what we're doing. But for this week, we'll be back on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. UK time, everybody, after today. Right then, Sage Goddess, bear with me 1 second. I'm going to click the magic button and I will be with you in what can I play? I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to play this, right? I did mention the two businesses earlier, the two hobbies that are very expensive. One of them is, well, both of them are friends of mine, and I'll explain after this. Blue Chalice is a small business making crafty creations for the witchy community. From jewellery to wall hangings, witch bells to altar tiles. Why not have a look at bluechalice.etsy.com.
Are you a fan of 80s horror but want something different? Do you like modern horror but the regular magazines leave you a bit cold? Are you a fan of that schlocky horror that no one else seems to talk about? Check out Necronomicon, the UK horror zine from Etsy.com. Just search for Necro Neil.
Absolutely. So Holland's Etsy shop does all sorts of lovely witchy items, items that were based on Arwen, which is this whole spiritual concept of that's involved with druidry. So if you're into that, there is a whole podcast episode with me and Neil from Necro, basically interview Holland, and we chat to Holland about their beliefs as in sort of druidry and how they incorporate that into their Etsy shop. And then Neil, my brother from another mother, my mister from another sister, yeah, that's right. Neil absolutely 100% writes one of my favorite zines. It's called Necronomicon, all about that bottom shelf horror that we used to love when we had video shops, video rentals. They were in the sort of the bargain section. All of those, that was the sort of stuff that Necronomicon thrives on. So if you enjoyed all of that back in the day, do go and check that out. The latest one is available on Etsy. Right then, Sage Goddess, my darling, this is the final reading tonight for yourself. Will your soulmate come into your life soon? Well, I've got a really interesting feeling about soulmates. I don't believe in them as we're led to believe that they are. Right? Let me explain. I'm going to bring Wispy in. So for me, I don't believe we only have one soulmate that brings us love. I'm swapping cameras. Reason being, we can have different loves. We need different things throughout our lives, right? So when we're young, we need a sort of partner that's going to initially teach us about what being in a relationship is, right? That should teach us what we want, what we need, all of the things about how to be with someone, or how to be, you know, more than a friend with someone, whether that's just an innocent peck on the cheek, kiss, or whether that is full-blown, how's your father? Do you know what I mean? As we grow older, we want different types of relationships. And sometimes we're incredibly lucky and we find that one person when we're young, when we're in school, and we stay with that person forever and ever and ever because we found that soulmate, and we grow with that person. Other times we find the soulmate we need in the moment. We find the soulmate that we need for a shorter period of time. And that period of time could be 6 months, 6 years, could be anything. But just because we've had people come into our lives and left our lives doesn't mean they weren't there and right for us at that particular moment. Okay. I also believe very firmly that groups of friends that come into our lives, that I believe in soulmate groups, soul groups, which is basically, it's almost like the universe sends us people that are right for us for a period of time. I'm incredibly lucky to have found a very obscure group of people that are on this channel as my moderators, and I found them in various different ways. All of them I've connected to in different ways at different times, and we are now in a position where they help me run this channel, and they do so in a completely 100% different format than the way that we met, right? It's very different. Everything is super different. And that always makes me smile, because I believe very firmly that you at various times in our lives, we need different people to teach us different things. And throughout our lives, those people, if we're lucky, those people, we bump into those people, we find those people. And sometimes those people need to go off and learn other lessons apart from us, and that's perfectly fine. We let those people go. And at other times in our lives, we grow together with those soul mates, those soul group. And you don't always have to have that entire group with you for years and years and years. Me and Neil, I call Neil my brother. He's literally, I've known him since I was 21. And that's like nearly 5 years ago now. Do you know what I mean? Nearly 5 whole years. I wish. But no, I've known him since I was 21. And throughout that time, at some point, we might not have spoken for a couple of months or 6 months or even a year, because our lives were just, you know, doing all of this and wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey strands of time. But we would always find each other again, keep chatting. And I know full well with Neil that we can have a conversation, end it on a, oh, let me tell you about that in a minute. I'm just going to go for a wee, and then fall asleep, and then not speak for 3 months, and then be like, oh yeah, I was going to tell you that thing, wasn't I? Well, and be straight back into that conversation. It's just, sometimes in life, that's what happens. But I'm going to have a look. I'm assuming that you mean romantically, and I'm assuming you mean kind of like maybe the one big soulmate type person. So that's what we're going to have a look at. So then, Wispy, after 7 minutes of preamble, let's have a look. We're going to go in, and I'm going to read for Sage Goddess. Oh, there we go. We had a jumper. So, 7 of Pentacles. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Okay. I get it. I was about to say, I don't understand how this relates to soulmates, but I absolutely do. So, if you're looking for soulmate as in love and romance, right? This is one of those things where the 7 of Pentacles might not mean anything. To a lot of readers, that won't mean anything in this context. However, it completely does, because Pentacles is money, career, growth, but it's also money, career, finances, but it's also growth because it's the earth elemental. And for a lot of people, the 7 is just about, do we harvest the plant now, or do we let it keep growing longer in the future and all of that? This is absolutely telling us, when it comes to soulmates, this is something that we have to nurture and we have to grow. And sometimes we grow into that soulmate status. And I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that. And sometimes that growth comes, and sometimes it goes the opposite way. Sometimes we can have somebody who we are incredibly connected to. They know everything about our lives, every secret, and we just drift. And that is also a thing that happens, and it's neither positive nor negative. It is just a thing. Mods, I'm going to go 5 minutes over. Hopefully that's okay. So then let's have a look. I'll do you the I'll tell you what, hang on, this is probably the right moment for right. Okay, we'll do this then. So I've got a love reading, a heart-shaped reading. So this is going to give you a general glimpse into your near future regarding love, right? All regarding the love soulmate. So let's have a look. 8 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, so 8 of Pentacles is about, the 8s are all about the journey to the 9. Pentacles again is looking for that growth. So this is saying that at the moment the reverse is coming in. So at the moment it doesn't feel like, hang on, Wispy's correcting me. What's that? What are we going through now, Wispy? Bear with, mods. Like, have you got out of a relationship in the last few, I almost want to say the last few months. Hang on, let me I'm gonna do something I don't ever do. Let me put me no, hang on, that's the other one, that's that one. There we go. Right, I'm on the comments now, Sage. So Sage, have you got out of a relationship recently, like within the last year or so? Okay, that will count. So hang on, right, let me just right. I've got a general. I think that there is. Oh, fuck. Right. Okay, mods. Oh, I wish I had 2 cameras. I wish I had the 2 cameras set up. Anyway, right. Sage, whatever happened with the relationship in the past, right? 18 months. However that ended, it feels like part of you hasn't done the work to process the ending. Does that make sense? Because the 8 of Pentacles is about continuing to working the candle at both ends, burning the candle at both ends. And it feels like that hasn't. Oh, hang on, shit! I've just seen a message. Going through a trying divorce, right? That makes perfect sense then. So. Right, I tell you what, I'm just going to read, and then I'll just throw the cards, and then I'll come back to it. Right, so general glimpse, how to prepare yourself for what is to come. Okay, a positive omen to look for, a negative omen to look for, Hang on. And then oh, sorry, I just realized again, you can't see what I'm actually laying down. A positive omen to look for, a negative omen to look for, and an outcome card for the future. Right. So, yes, I know, Wispy screaming at me on the back of my neck. Right. 8 of Pentacles coming up in the general glimpse into the near future. I think there's a lot of unfinished business, right? There's a lot of unfinished business with the 8 of Pentacles. If ever there was a card to literally have the subtitled unfinished business, it'll be this one. I think there's unfinished business, not only with the divorce, but it's also like the reason for the divorce. It feels like right. First of all, he was never your soulmate, right? That was not a thing. Anyway, back to the cards. Yes, Wispy, I know. Sorry, my brain is now functioning on 2 different levels. Wispy, we need to shut this down because I can't do anything. I'm super tired, which is why everything's starting to come through, because I can't shut it down. Anywho, brain. So 8 of Pentacles, right? As I say, unfinished business, a lot of stuff that needs finalizing, that needs rubber stamping, that needs to have things go a separate way. You are in no way ready for a soulmate yet. So take that question off the table completely. Take that off of the table. This is in the how to prepare yourself for what's to come. This is the Sun, but the Sun reverse. Now, the Sun is a major arcana card. Okay. Now, in this case, the reversal is interesting because it isn't talking about nighttime or the moon or about negative. Hang on. There we go. Play the bloody thing, Lisa. This isn't talking about a negative. In this position, how to prepare yourself for what's to come, how to prepare yourself for new soulmate, new love, new energy coming in, is to get yourself back out in nature, right? The Sun. And the reversal here is saying that you might not want to have growth. You might not want at some level to be out doing things, to be around people, to be around, to go and sit in a park reading a book, whatever it is. This card is lovely because you can see this couple here with their doggo having a lovely picnic on the park. Sunflowers, which is the universal sign for this card. You can obviously see the sun. You can see a kid with an adult, or an adult rather with a kid flying the kite, and a couple of people over here on a park bench. It's all about getting out there, enjoying that sun's energy, enjoying that growth, enjoying that future. And I think this being reversed is saying that as uncomfortable as that is going to be for you, as difficult as it is for you to get out and try and find some clear space, a clear bit of countryside, a clear bit of park where you can just go and chill and absorb the sun's light and absorb that energy and let go of all of the previous negativity and all of the stuff that you're still going through with the divorce. You really do need to go and find some comfort, and find that comfort either with friends or on your own. Just go and find that, like, feel the grass under your toes. If you're there somewhere and it says do not walk on the grass, take your shoes and socks off and walk across that grass. The reason there's a sign is because if everybody did it, the grass would be damaged. If one person does it, it bounces back. Be that one person. You know what I mean? Walk across that chamomile lawn, smell that lovely aroma, feel it between your toes, connect back with the earth. This sun card is so important in terms of growth. It really is. And this is in the how to prepare yourself for what's to come. A positive omen to look for, right? That's this. This is a positive omen to look for. The Four of Cups is talking about emotional stability. You need to find that emotional stability. It's going to be tough going through a divorce, but you need to find a way of tapping into that part of you that is connected, and that part of you that is just you, not you with a partner, not you getting a divorce, not you that's divorced, not you that's married, not you that's with someone, not you that's got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, not you that's experimenting, not you that's doing things for the first time, not you that's doing the same thing 100 times over. No, just you. Connect back with you. Find that stability, that emotional stability that can allow you to just take everything on board and kind of almost not let it go, but just deal with, this is what's happening now. We're going to get through this, because you are going to get through this. This is preparing for what's to come. Don't forget, this is all about growth. Literally all about growth. The sun is all about growth. Connect with that. Once you find that emotional stability, hold on to it, right? Once you find whatever it is that grants you this momentary stability, it might be reading a book in a park. In which case, go and read a book in a park every day if you have to. If it's chucking down with rain, maybe put an audio book in and just walk around the park. But find a way of doing this thing that connects you, that is going to help you prepare for your life after divorce. Because right now, you can't even, there's no space in your life for soulmates or anything else. Right now, you just have to reconnect with you and reconnect with the things that give you that emotional stability. Something to avoid, we've got the Three of Wands reversed. So this is a negative omen to avoid. So this is talking about going off on flights of fancy, going off on, oh, that feels like a good idea, let's go and do that. Oh yeah, well, that's a good idea, let's go and do that, right? There's a little element of a knight with this card. It's talking about growth in confidence, but this is when things are not fully planned through. Okay, so again, be aware, be mindful of doing things because it seems okay at the moment. Okay, do a bit more planning. This is reverse, so do a bit more planning. And the outcome of this at the moment, you've got the Knight of Swords, but it's reversed. This is not you feeling this. This is the ex-partner husband feeling this. Right? Oh, hang on. I just realized I'm not on the comment section. This is the other half feeling this, right? The Knight of Swords is about about challenges and hurdles, but also it's about overcoming those challenges and hurdles. And so I think you absolutely need to realize that, take soulmate off the table. Right? You need to be your own soulmate right now. You need to be your own cheerleading squad, right? This outcome here, the Knight of Swords, this is going to go to your other half. This is reversed. This is not what you're feeling. This is going to be going to your ex, right? You are going to feel better for not doing this, because I think there's been times where you've almost been like, oh, I'll just contact them, and maybe, and I'm not talking about as you're going through the divorce, but before the divorce started, there would have been times where you were like, I'm not sure, maybe we need to not do that, maybe we need to find a way through, blah blah blah. But I honestly feel, my darling, that you really need to look at finding this connection back with what makes you you, before you can offer anything up to a soulmate, if that makes some sense. Don't worry about this Knight of Swords. I don't think that's coming for you. I think that's coming for your ex-partner. The Seven of Pentacles coming in here as that question. I do wholeheartedly think this is where, even if your ex-partner was a complete arsehole, the biggest asshole going, there is always going to be that moment of what if. You know, they weren't always an asshole, otherwise you wouldn't have got with them, if that makes sense. But I honestly feel that you need to go and chill, take some time for you, go to the park, go and meditate, mindfulness, reading books, go in, you know, listen to some really happy music, some really sad music. Go to the park and listen to the songs that make you cry your eyes out, and go and do that and cry your eyes out. Have a good old empty that well of tears in a way that isn't going to make you feel bad about the relationship. Just have a good healthy cry, and then go back to the park and listen to those songs that I'm going to make you want to, you know, take on the world. That Who Runs the World, Girls. So that one, go and listen to all the songs that are going to make you take on armies of people. Do you know what I mean? Look for that stability, find what creates that stability, and then hold on to that for everything that it's worth. Avoid other people's this, that, and the other bullshit, and avoid and ignore this quick to react, fast to act, really annoying energy from them, if that makes sense. And I really do hope that helps. I don't think now is the time for romantic soulmates. I'm not saying listen, I'm not saying don't go and get yourself a bit of whoopee, right? Absolutely as long as you're safe. That's all I'm going to say. As long as you're safe, go and get yourself a little bit of, you know what I mean? We've all got needs. We've all got, and it doesn't have to be, listen, quite often these days, medical science and commercial science are such that you can go and buy the things that provide the, exactly. Just because certain things come with batteries doesn't mean that that's not going to be, that could be your soulmate. That could be your soulmate for now. A certain buzzy friend. And you could call it buzzy friend. I don't know, but listen. Once again, let me change cameras. Bloody stupid, annoying. I wish it would do it by my thought process. But listen, you're absolutely going to get through this, right? You don't need a person soulmate right now. But again, a little buzzy soulmate, that's going to be absolutely fine. I love what people are talking about in the chat. He isolated you from everyone for years. You don't have any friends or family to even talk to. Well, you've always got us here. You write his name on a pillow and attack it, whatever works. That's a good way of doing it. Flush his name down the toilet. That's also a good way of doing it. That's very good. Other ways of doing it is to get a fireproof bowl, put his name or photo and set fire to the bowl. Put a little bit of lighter fluid or something in it and set fire to it. And as that burns and goes off into the atmosphere, imagine that's all of his contact going off. That's a good way of doing it. And yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Kidney stones, people talking about. Love yourself as you are. Move forward from here. Absolutely. Yes. That is it entirely, my darling. Kidney stones. Yeah, if you've got kidney stones as well, you're going to be feeling a bit crappy. So again, deal with the kidney stones. Sometimes, listen, sometimes our bodies need us to stop. Right? My body has found a way with the fibro. It just turns me off for 24 hours. Literally, just pulls the plug. And for 24 hours, this happened yesterday. For 24 hours, I'm just literally unconscious, barely scramble out of bed to go for a wee and back into bed. Didn't eat anything or drink anything. And that is obviously what my body needed yesterday. And that's what I did. So sometimes your body, if you've been going through a lot of stress and a lot of everything else, it could just be, my darling, that the kidney stones are your body's way of saying, do you know what? Enough. Let's chill now. Let's find a bit of space, a bit of time. But yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Go to the park. But also you can always go to the park with a book and some headphones and you just sit under a tree. And people will just think, who's that weirdo with a book and headphones sat under a tree? And they'll just walk past. All right, their dog might come and try and piss up you. That has happened to me in the past. But just do the things that make you happy and do go and spend some time in nature, my darling. And I really, 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 really do hope that that helps. I hope that helps. I really do. I'm reading back in the comments. It really does feel difficult. He's a narcissist and you can't get closure from someone who never was. Well, listen, do you know the most painful thing that you can ever do to a narcissist is completely ignore them. That is the most painful thing. The worst thing that you could ever do to a narcissist is to completely and utterly ignore them and not react to them. And with that, my darling, I'm going to say thank you very much for your being here. Thank you for being a member. Thank you for donating, and thank you for being here. I hope that reading helps. Exactly. Oh, look at that silver lining there from Patricia. Without that shitty divorce, you may never have found this wonderful group of people. Exactly. And with that, I'm going to say thank you ever so much. Yeah, just go and sit. Go and make friends with a tree. Now, this is weird, right? This is weird, but I love it. I hug trees. I am a tree hugger. You know that thing where people go, oh, hippie tree hugger? I go and hug a tree. And all right, I might look around me to see if no one's watching, like, but I will go and hug a tree. And I will talk to trees as well. And I will go, oh, you're a big old mighty thing. Look at you. You've come through every storm and you've come through all of that. You're lovely, aren't you? Go and do that. Maybe look around you so you don't get the men in white coats coming after you. But that's what I do. And find a little space where you can go to and just have a little bit of me time. And if it's a mile away, if it's possible, maybe walk to it or walk, drive to nearly and then have a little walk, or get the bus to it and walk from the bus stop just to get a little bit of physical exercise. Again, I struggle with that sometimes, but yeah, absolutely. They call it tree bathing, I think. There's another name for it and I can't remember what it is. Forest bathing, where you go and sit in a forest full of trees and you just take in the forest energy. You can do that in the park as well. But anyway, my darling, I am going to go now because I thought I was going to finish early and it's now 20 past. But yeah, thank you very much for being here. No, honestly, be a tree hugger. Be a tree hugger. It's lovely. As everybody here is saying, look, be a tree hugger. Absolutely. That's a good song. That is a good song. Yep. Take it. And listen, it doesn't have to cost you any money at all, right? It doesn't have to cost you any money at all. You can pick up a book from the library. You can pick something up. If you've got books in your house, go to a thrift store or a charity shop and you can pick something up for less than $1 probably, or $1.50, whatever. Find a book. Off you go to the park. You make your coffee at home and take it with you, or your bottle of water, and you just go and chill. And with that, my darling, I'm going to wish you nothing but the very best, and I will hopefully see you on Sunday. And again, with everybody else, I'll hopefully see you all on Sunday evening here in the UK, 7 p.m. UK time. And yeah, as I always say, stay you, stay true, stay authentic, and thank you to the amazing mods and the members and the subscribers and the viewers. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.